What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Regrowth. Oh yeah, guys. So last episode we set up this multi-farm here. Yeah, and then we got some blaze crops going, which are producing blaze essence, and we are auto-crafting those into blaze rods, and then feeding the blaze rods into a steam boiler, which is providing steam to some steam engines, which is powering this entire farm and keeping things going and happy. Right now I have the farm turned off because we're kind of running into a problem. As you can see, I filled out the farm completely full of the blaze seeds. Yeah, and that is a lot of essence for our auto crafter thing to craft. It just can't keep up. Yeah, after I started expanding this out a little bit, I realized pretty quickly that we're gonna have to do something better than that auto crafting table that we have downstairs. So today I want to look at upgrading our auto crafting, upgrading our storage for the blaze rods. We'll probably end up having it so the auto craft go into a storage and we'll pull out of that storage into the steam boiler as we need it, I think is what we want to do. Yeah, you guys had also pointed out the mechanism, the pipes for it, you can configure and set it so they can extract or accept items. I had no idea. I really don't use mechanism a lot, so we'll check that out as well. So first things first, an item you guys had told me in the comments is called an auto assembler, I think. From Enhanced Inventories. This is the mod where we got the bigger storage from that we're storing all of our items. So just a couple of pistons, a crafting table, some cobblestone, and some iron to make one of those. So we'll go ahead and check that out. We'll go ahead and make one of those and see how it works. Yeah, that'd be pretty awesome. If it can craft way faster than what we're currently crafting, yeah, we'll definitely want to check that out. Now, another thing you guys have pointed out is that, or at least I saw one comment from last episode, is that we have 8 of the blaze powder makes 3 blaze rods, or we could do coal, which I didn't really think about. 8 coal turns into, I think, 12 pieces of coal. Yeah, you get a lot more power out of the coal, even though it burns slightly, not as long. It burns slightly shorter than the blaze rods. You get way more of it per craft, so it makes more sense to use coal. So we might swap over our farms to coal here in a minute. But anyway, let's go ahead and get this done. So we needed cobblestone for pistons. We needed some levers for those pistons, a little bit of iron. We got everything we need. We don't have the planks on us, so we'll go ahead and do that. I think that's enough, right? That should get us 2 pistons. I already had a crafting table on me. I was gonna bring that over to where we're making the blaze rods right now, so I could take some of the essence that we're collecting and turn it into the blaze rods manually, because yeah, our auto crafting just is not keeping up. So auto assembler, let's set this down. What does this thing look like? It's pretty much the same kind of a crafting grid, right? We do that, what does that do? Okay, I assume over on this side is where we put the resources. So let's put in 23 cobblestone over on this side. Nothing's happening, guys. Is this supposed to do something? Or is this the pattern side? I don't know. Oh, these are the resources that are supposed to turn into that? I don't know how this thing works. All right, so not like that. Yeah, that's setting the pattern, right? So we put the items here. Do we click this? Is that how that works? Well, it took items from over here. Is this auto crafting? Like, how do you set this thing up? Enabled high on signal. Oh, this thing's broken, huh? Always. Oh. Okay, so it just made a furnace over here. I see. So if I put in cobblestone, that's way faster. Okay, I like that. I see how that works. All right, so that's probably what we're gonna do. I wonder why this thing is broken. I'm glad I could see the little tooltips though. All right, so we want to set this thing to always. Yep, we want to set that to always. We want to set the pattern. We're gonna have to figure out a way to extract the certain items we want, and we're not gonna extract everything else that we don't want extracted. So that'll be something we'll have to figure out here. So that's pretty cool. All right, so I don't think I've seen that thing before. Let me go ahead and get a few things together here. I need to make myself another crafting table because I want one over there so I can do some manual crafting. I don't really like the crafting, what are they, the crafting stations? Yeah, I want the vanilla, the crafting table so we can like click things into it a little bit easier. It's not, you can't really do that with the Tinker's one for some reason. Anyway, guys, let me get some things going over here. I'll check some things out, try and rearrange some of these pipes, and then we'll continue on. All right, guys. So one of the problems we're also having, besides the auto crafting slow, the extraction rate with the Buildcraft pipes is kind of slow as well. Yeah, I turned the farm back off. I had turned it on a second ago and was harvesting all this stuff, but I turned it back off to exaggerate this fact so you guys can see this a little bit clearly. We can turn the farm back on. It'll take it a second to recognize, oh, hey, we got lots of stuff. Let's start picking. There it goes. Yeah, so you can see that the inventory here is filling up quite quickly. Yeah, we have 4 inventory slots. Actually, we have 8. We have 2 sets of 4. These will both fill up. And then eventually when they're all full, the farm will stop picking because it doesn't have anywhere to put the items, right? So we're extracting items decently fast. It's pulling out like 2 or 3 items at a time, like twice a second, something along those lines. I don't really know what the extraction rate is, to be honest, but it's going kind of slow. I mean, it's not super fast. So let's come down here. We'll take a look at this stuff. Yeah, you can kind of see it's pulling out a few items at a time. I mean, we got a nice stream of items there, but it isn't pulling it out nearly fast enough. Like the farm's running out of inventory space. See a little icon showing up here every now and then. Now, I think it might end up being like this over time. Even if we don't have the farm fully grown, like it just can't keep up. So yeah, unfortunately, these gates that we made last time really aren't going to cut it. Now, I remembered something that I had forgotten about Buildcraft pipes. You can provide them power and then they'll start sending items like crazy. So like, for instance, if we take these basic universal cables and we bring some power over here, it'll connect, see that? And like all these items, they're being pulled out stacks at a time. Well, once it gets past this first stack, it'll start pulling them out stacks at a time. Anyway, you can see that it is pulling the items out way faster than what it was doing before. Yeah, it can actually keep up. Look at that. It cleared the inventory super fast. So it does use RF power to extract the items really fast, but yeah, it'll make the farm so it can keep up. Okay, so we have the, what is this thing called? The auto assembler here. Yeah, it accepts items on this side, and then it also creates the resulting item over here. So before I had a wooden pipe here, and when we were doing the wooden pipe on this side, yeah, we were extracting both the essence and the blaze rods, and we were getting essence over here into this chest. It wasn't good. Oh, we're getting a nice stockpile of blaze rods now. That's awesome. Oh, okay, yeah, we reached 100C, so it's going to be using blaze rods a lot more slowly now. That's awesome. Okay, but anyway, so the wooden pipe was extracting both the blaze rods and the essence from this side. Oops, not that. Yeah, and that was doing things incorrectly. So I ended up switching that out for an emerald transport pipe here. So you can right click on this and you can set a filter. So I set it so it only does blaze rods. And then also have set it for a whitelist. By default, there's nothing here and it's on whitelist. So this pipe won't extract anything. You'll think it's broken, but in fact you have to right click on it. Either set blacklist with nothing or set blaze rods as your whitelist. In our case, we only want blaze rods to come through because we don't want the essence. Yeah, there we go. Now we're getting our blaze rods through like we should. Now, another thing, and see how that's kind of extracting slowly. We can do the same thing on this particular pipe. We grab some of these, grabs a little bit of RF from that and provide that to that pipe. There really isn't a good way in this particular setup to do this, so we can just do it that way. And you see that extracted many blaze rods at a time right there, so that's way faster. I don't know if that costs RF all of the time or only when it is extracting an item. I don't know how that all works, but what I do know is we no longer need these basic gates on there anymore if we're providing it with RF power. So I don't know how we're gonna get this thing set up. I might end up moving this down a block to make that a little bit more clean. I'll have to figure this all out. Eventually we're gonna move away from this whole setup. Yeah, and it'll all be done through an auto crafting process somewhere else, but for right now, that's the way we got this going. That's going to be way better than what we had before, so you know, I'm happy with that. I mean, it's not looking pretty. We can also move this farm hatch probably right here. Yeah, if we do that, then we want to run the power cables far, not as many pipes. I think that might end up being better. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and work on this, try and make things a little bit try and make things make a little bit more sense. Yeah, let me get some more things done here, guys, and we will continue on. All right, guys. Well, I put in some work downstairs on the way the whole logistical pipe network is set up, and I think it looks a lot more clean, and it makes a lot more sense. I went ahead and I made a drawer controller from storage drawers. I also made a compacting drawer. Okay, so here's all the stuff coming down, just coming straight down like so. Should be filling in here, and we are making the blaze rods. That should be happening automatically. We aren't extracting the blaze rods from here for some reason, and I don't know why. This doesn't... Oh, I forgot to do always. There we go. Now we're creating the blaze rods. All right, so now we are extracting the blaze rods. Yeah, and they are going straight over here into the high pressure boiler. And when this fills up, the diamond pipe is set blaze rods on green. When that fills up, it should take the blue path and come over here into our compacting drawer, which it appears to be doing right now. Yeah, see, that's full and all the overflow is coming over here. Oh, I guess it's going that way and bouncing out and then coming over here is what it's doing, which is fine. But anyway, so our compacting drawer, it takes in the blaze rods, and since 9 blaze rods turns into a blaze rod lamp, or blaze lamp, yeah, we can store a lot of blaze rods in one small little container. Now we can also add in the upgrades, like this has all of these storage upgrades, the emerald ones. We can put that in here as well. And this will end up storing a heck of a lot of blaze rods because they all compress up into this particular item. So that's pretty awesome. So the drawer controller, what this does is when there's any, when there's any connected drawer, I had trouble trying to think of that. When there's any connected drawer, it will attempt to take any item that's coming into it and put it into the correct drawer. Yeah, so we could put blaze rods in through here. We could put in blaze lamps. We can put in essence of fire and essence of earth, and they'll all go into the correct spot through this drawer controller. So that's pretty awesome. The only thing is, if we have extra stuff that doesn't go in there, we don't have a spot for it. So we can add in other drawers and it'll fill those up eventually when we need more items, or if we run out of space here, which we never will since those are the void upgrades. But yeah, that would be our overflows by adding in other drawers pretty much. So we can, we can expand the system out and make it quite nice. For right now, we only have to deal with those 3 particular items though, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, everything's definitely looking a lot nicer and it's working a lot better. So I'm pretty happy with the way this is all set up. Now, the only other thing I have a concern about is I don't know how to get the items from here into here when it needs it. Like, I don't think there is a requesting pipe from Buildcraft, although I could be wrong. That might have been a new pipe they added since the last time I played around with these. So I'll have to double check all of that, but I don't think there was a way you could request items previously, but we'll have to check that out. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and move on to something else. I think we're going to look at some of the mechanism pipes. We might even forego all of this stuff if they can be configured and they have a little bit of logic, like they have the blacklist, whitelist, and all that kind of stuff. So we'll have to check that out. But yeah, the different items we made here, like packing tape, just using some slime balls and paper. The controller sleeve, just some stone comparators. The controller sleeve is actually a block I didn't make, and it was one I was thinking about making. The controller sleeve works just like the controller, except you can only have one controller on a network. So you can pipe items in and out of it, just like you could from the drawer controller itself, but you could have it like over here or whatever. As long as I think it's 12 blocks away is the maximum distance that you can put connected items on the drawer controller network. Anyway, the drawer controller itself costs a diamond and some redstone, and then the compacting drawer is about the same recipe except pistons and iron. Cool. Anyway, let me go ahead and look into these mechanism pipes real quick, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, well, I have these different pipes here. We have the advanced pressurized tube, basic mechanical pipe, and basic universal cable. So in order to do anything with these, we need an item called a configurator. I think is what it's called. Configurator. So this requires lots of different stuff in order to make like this energy tablet, which requires all these different things: steel plates, basic control circuit. That requires enriched iron. Enriched iron is made from the Metallurgic Infuser. Anyway, I am cooking up some redstone and iron ingots. I had this going actually since before I started recording the episode. We've done 42 of them so far. I'm trying to get a bunch of those pre-made because I know we're going to be using those. But I went to go into the quest book to see if we had any quests for mechanism. As it turns out, we unlocked number 14 at some point. We're 3% complete, and we have completed a quest in here. So we made the Metallurgic Infuser, which I suppose is the very first quest for this section, and I suppose that unlocked it. I honestly don't know when this unlocked, but yeah. So this says, with laser assembly, titanium, and plate rolling running, you think it's about time to step up your technological game. Advancing into more mechanized machinery should allow you to increase the efficiency with which you can work towards helping the world recover. The first thing you should be looking to invest in would be the Metallurgic Infuser, which should allow you to both produce steel more rapidly, which is awesome, as well as starting to produce some more complex circuits you're going to need. Right. So this quest is giving us 8 steel and 8 titanium, which is great because this is such a pain to make. And it's going to give us a little bit of reputation as well. So we'll go ahead and claim that. I don't know if this quest unlocked because of a certain reputation or because we crafted something. It doesn't really ever say. It doesn't seem to. So we also have different seeds over here. IMAG seeds. I don't know what these are. One final seed, a refinement of Osmium Seeds, has come to your attention, and it seems to be a path to unlock hidden powers within yourself. Sounds worthwhile investigating. So these unlock powers within myself. So let's do the recipe for these. Oh, so diamond dust and osmium seeds makes these, and the uses for those makes essence of that stuff, and that will make constraint metal ore. I don't know. This is alchemy craft, or I'm sorry, academy craft. Image silicon ore. I don't know what this stuff is. I've never used Academy Craft. I assume there's going to be a section in this book that's going to tell us how to do all this different stuff. Maybe we're going to hold off on this for a little while because it seems like that's getting more advanced than where we are right now. Anyway, there's a quest here, messing with configs, and this wants us to make the configurator. So we already have a quest for the item that we wanted to make. So this says messing with configs. The basic wrench is all well and good, but for these new machines you've got available, you're going to want something a little more precise. So this wants us to make one of these. Yeah, and we saw the recipe for this a little bit ago. So we need to look at making this energy tablet. So iron chipsets, like I was saying, we need the osmium plate, steel plates, these basic control circuits, which is basic control circuits from forestry, redstone chipsets. I'm going to have to make some of those up. I don't think we have any of that. The enriched iron and more osmium plates. So the enriched iron, so we need wrought iron ingots with coal. And that'll make this stuff. The wrought iron ingots we can make with the metallurgic infuser as well. We just need charcoal. Or I think, does coal work? Yeah, coal or charcoal plus iron dust. Is that the only way to do that? I guess it has to be an iron dust. We'll make the wrought iron ingots. So iron dust, we can make. Oh, there's a crusher machine. I don't know if we've made the crusher yet. Is there another way to do this that we can do that's easier? Enrichment Chamber? Do we have to put anything in this thing, or is this just like a grinder, maybe? Dirty iron dust will turn into this. Yeah, I don't know what the Enrichment Chamber is. I don't really use mechanism that much, guys, so this stuff is all new to me. So maybe we should look at making the crusher. That seems like the simplest way to turn iron into iron dust. I assume that's just going to use power. I don't remember. Did we make a crusher already? I feel like we made a few of the mechanism machines, and I put some of them away because we weren't really using them at the time. Oh, we do have a crusher. Okay, so we can go ahead and get the crusher. We can crush up some iron. Let's do this. Take the crusher. We'll crush up the iron. Or alternatively, we could just put this in the bloomery, right? Does this take a minute? That takes a little bit of time, doesn't it? And it uses a decent amount of RF to process. Okay, so we need to take this plus some coal. Let's go ahead and grab some of that. We should have a decent amount because I did blockify a few of that. Few pieces. All right, so I need to figure out how many pieces of coal is going to equal one of these. Hopefully it's just one piece. So one piece, carbon 10, 20, 30. So it looks like 4 pieces of coal will turn iron dust into the wrought iron, which I think is more expensive because we can do it with charcoal in the bloomery, but then we have to have the bloomery out. Anyway, I think this will be overall easier, even though it's more expensive. Oh, did I only bring 1 piece? Okay, I guess I only brought 1 piece of iron with me. Yeah, that makes the enriched iron. So I need to do that a few times. Oh no, okay, hold on a second. The use is for the wrought iron, right? We need to put that back in there with more coal to get the enriched iron. That's what it is. Okay, so we'll put that back in there. 1 coal, 2. Was that okay? So 3 more coal will turn that wrought iron into the enriched. Is that what this is? I think that's how this is working. Okay, cool. So anyway, it's going to be a little bit of me going through here and getting all this crafting done. Yeah, these energy tablets look like these are going to be used a little bit throughout Mechanism. So we're probably going to have to get used to this. Also, we have to make these enriched alloys. So that is redstone plus iron. Yeah, that's not so bad. And I think that's about the only unique items in here that we have to worry about. So anyway, let me get to crafting. I'll make the rest of these different pieces and then we will continue on, guys. All right, guys. Well, I've been at this for a little while. I've had to rearrange our power supply here. Yeah, and we're still lasering different things. I'm making a lot of these redstone chipsets since we didn't have any and we need some for the crafting recipes. I've also added in some more pipes or more basic universal cables, I guess, so we can add in more machines. But yeah, we added in a pump here so we could keep our combustion engines cool. They do require water to cool them off. Previously, I was using a bunch of tin to make tin cans, fill that full of water, and then drop those in to the combustion engine using a hopper or whatever. But that's getting kind of expensive. I don't want to have to keep melting down tin. So I decided, you know what, let's just make another pump. Yeah, we'll pump out some water here. We will pipe it over and then everything's going to be happy. And yeah, that's also supplying our carpenter with the water too. We had to make some of these basic circuit boards. And then I set up a little thing right here, just some, vanilla redstone wiring, so we can turn all the engines on and off with the flick of a lever. Otherwise, we could just put a lever on the back of each one of these different combustion engines if we wanted to. Yeah, and then turn each one on and off individually. But I think it's fine just like this. They kind of turn themselves off when they're not working. I think they use a little bit of fuel while they are in this idle state, but I think they use it slowly. No, it doesn't look like they're using... No, they are using fuel. Barely. Do they use the same amount? I guess they do when they're in idle. When they're not actually running, they still use the same amount of fuel. I thought they would have used less. Anyway, we'll just make sure we turn these off when we're done using all the different power and things like that. But anyway, I thought I'd bring you guys back in since we are pretty much there. Let's go ahead and craft some of these different components. And we should be able to get this configurator going together. So let's go ahead and make 2 of these things. So these are the basic control circuits. All right, and then I think we have everything else. Oh, I don't have the iron chipsets on me. Let's go grab those real quick. Those are almost done. I did stop them before I completed the last 2. I'll turn that on so it does those as well. Finish that up. All right, so we can do this and this, plus 1 of those. There's our energy tablet. Nice. And then, yeah, some enriched alloy, a stick, and lapis. I don't have the lapis or the stick on me. Let's fix that. There's a lapis, there's a stick. All right, so we should be good to go. Done. Cool. So we have that all made. So I don't really know how this thing works, but it does look like it needs to be charged. I don't think we have a way to charge items right now, do we? So I saw that there was another quest in here. Okay, well, this one's done. Let's claim the reward for this. It's going to give us 24 more basic universal cables. Yeah, there's another quest here for a power store, and I believe the power store, I would imagine this has a spot in there where you can right-click on and charge things up. I'm not sure. We might have to build some kind of a charger from Mechanism. The only other ones I've used previously is the Energetic Infuser from Thermal Expansion, and then the one from Draconic Evolution. I forget what that one's called. But neither of those mods are in this pack, so we can't do that. So I'm just going to assume the power store is how we're going to charge up our energy items. So we'll figure this out. So we need to make a basic energy cube. The quest says, now that you've got the capacity to create more complex technologies, it would be nice to have a reservoir of power stored up. Creating an energy cube should be the solution to this problem. The first thing you should be looking to invest in would be the Metallurgic Infuser, which should allow you to both produce steel more rapidly, as well as start producing some more complex circuits you're gonna need. So yeah, we've already done that. So basic energy cube. Let's see what the recipe is for this. Oh man, we need 2 more energy tablets, 4 more basic control circuits. Oh man, I'm glad I made a little bit more of this enriched iron. We don't have enough of that though, and then we're gonna need more steel plates and more of all of this stuff. I'm glad I made a lot of the iron chipsets. Oh my goodness. So there is a way that we can upgrade these. So this is how you make this one. But to make the advanced one, this thing scrolls through all the different energy cubes, but I believe you have to put a basic in this recipe to make the advanced, and then you have to put the advanced in this recipe to make the elite, and then the elite goes in this one to make the ultimate. I assume that's how this all works. Anyway, we'll figure this all out. So I'm gonna go ahead and get to work on this. I didn't realize I didn't have all these other things crafted up. Yeah, I'm glad I made all the extra basic circuit boards and stuff too. And the steel casing requires sheets of titanium, which the rolling machine, yep, that's gonna save us. Okay, well, let me get to it and I'll make the energy cube. We'll be right back, guys. All right, guys, well, I just got done crafting this basic energy cube. Let's set it somewhere. How about right here? What does this thing look like? Oh, check that out. It's got... All right, well, that's stored a lot of power in here. So how much power does this thing store? Does it say on the tooltip? It doesn't say out here. I'm guessing this is gonna store 500,000? No, that's gotta store about 1 million RF is what I think this is gonna be. Okay, so we got 2 different spots here, one for a plus, one for a minus. I assume that's a drain. Yeah, discharge dark red and charge dark blue. So we can sit here and charge up our configurator. There we go. So it says state configurate items. I assume there's gonna be a way we can configurate other things. I don't know how this thing even works. Never used it before. Right click on it, shift right click. Still says configurate items. It's gotta be like some kind of key combination to get this thing to a different state. Anyway, I'll figure that out a little bit later. So basic mechanical pipe. This is what we were gonna look for. So if we stick this here and I can use the configurator on there, I assume, right click, redstone sensitivity, turn off, turn on. Wait, is that all we can do? I thought there was a way that you could do other stuff with this. I'm gonna have to figure that out. Let me go look it up then. All right, I see. There's different segments here that you can interact with this configurator. This is just the main connection, but then there's these little bits right here that are supposed to connect to things. I don't know why there isn't one here that's not connecting to the rolling machine. Maybe this pipe doesn't know that it can connect to there. Or maybe it's supposed to connect through the bottom or the top. I don't know, whatever. Let's take a look at this one right here. This is the fluid pipe, so we can shift right click on this little segment, and then we can change connection type to push, which is not what we want. We want to pull stuff out of there. There we go. But since the pump automatically pushes fluid out of it, we don't need that set on the pull setting. We can just switch it to normal. This will push the fluid into the pipe anyway, so that's all we got to do. So that's kind of cool. So yeah, we can set this one push, pull, none, normal, things like that. So what I might end up doing with all these different configurations is we might check out replacing the pipes underneath our farm over there with these. I don't know how these work as far as being smart goes. Like, I don't know if it's going to try and push items in that don't fit. I assume it knows, hey, there's inventory space. We can put an item in there and it'll only, you know, fill up as much as it can fit. That might be what we needed for the problem we were having with storing the blaze rods into the storage drawers and then trying to pull from the storage drawer back into the steam boiler. That might be what we need to do. I don't know. I'll have to play around with these a little bit off camera since I don't really know what I'm doing. But yeah, this looks like this is storing a decent amount. So there's site configuration on this. Okay, so input dark green. Oh, I guess you can only input, you can't input and output from the same side. I guess that makes sense. Output dark red. Yeah, I'll have to figure out all of this stuff. Mechanism looks like there's a lot of good stuff to it, but it's a mod that I'm not super familiar with. So there's a lot of things in it that I'm just going to have to experiment and play around with off camera before I become at least very familiar with it. But anyway, guys, I think we're going to go and wrap the episode up here for today after we claim a reward for this quest, because I just about forgot to do it. So let's claim it. It's going to give us a full energy tablet and 8 basic control circuits. And this wants us to do the ultimate energy cube. That's going to take a minute before we get to that point. If we get some more mechanism stuff, we'll look at that another time. All right, guys, that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to leave a like on this episode if you did like it, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.